Hey, everybody. This is Thursday Thunder. We haven't been here in like forever. We've had so much stuff going on, and we're going to try to start picking it up again. I'm going to put it on, I need to put it on comments. And let me post this really fast over to the other side. Isn't it here? It's not here. It's not here, Kelly.
That sounds like a you problem.
I'm like, why? Why isn't it on my page? It's still not on my page. Oh, yeah, it is. That's what happens when you don't actually scroll down enough. You just stop at the pen. I've had a moment today. Poor Kelly's had to deal with me for the last 15 minutes. All right, I'm almost there. Yay. Okay, I can put this down. Was there any kind of specials or anything, Kelly, you want to talk about for your own self? Now I threw you right under the bus with that.
So now I gotta look at my own shit. Okay. I am running. I normally run monthly specials. There's one that is not my page. There's one I'm running until I believe September as well. Let me look at this shit. So we have evil eye removal and curse breaking. That's going on still. And then, of course, we have spirit removal and spiritual exorcisms going on until September 30th. So those are the two.
Andy, can you still hear? Or can you not hear? Hello? Andy, if you're there, let us know if you're hearing. Can you hear us? Hello. It was nice to play with you. All right. Well, since I completely threw Kelly off, I went ahead and pulled out some cards. You're going to buy that room. A room break. Okay, what I'm getting to this is not good. I'm sorry. I'm getting the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, meaning there is no movement forward. It is Jupiter and fire. It is the west direction, which is emotional healing, and is typically, to open and receive. It is the actualization of potential. But what I'm getting it is in reverse. So this is doubt. This is a lot of doubt, a lot of questions, a lot of unfamiliar territory, making you kind of step back and question and keeping yourself in a standstill instead of moving forward is what I'm getting. Along with, I got the Nine of Swords. This is all in your head. This is all in our head. We're making things out to be worse than it can be. We've got to get back in our positive thinking, back in our uplifting thinking, and making changes. But right now, there's so much, the energies have been so excruciating, coming in. And I don't care what nobody says. Like I was telling Kelly before the show started, I don't care what nobody says. The Lionsgate portal already opened today around 6 o'clock this morning. I'm a Lionsgate baby. I was born there, and I'm very in tune to it. I'm seeing a countdown to it as it was opening. It's sitting on top of Vista, which is, sacrifice and commitment on top of God consciousness energy. So this is really asking us, step the fuck up to the plate, or sit down and shut the fuck up, basically. And I'm so at a level of I can't even play the game anymore. That's just where it is. So that's what my first cards are out. I'm not trying to be rude. It's just the way it is. I'm getting sorry, man. And Kelly.
Great to start off on a good note like that. So here we have warty toad, which is hallucinogenic and visions and toxicity. So just to catch Bells' good vibe there. However, this is basically deception. It's lying to yourself. Again, what are you trying to fluff up? What are you trying to put on airs for everybody else? That now's not the time. Y'all should have been not doing that, I don't know, 2-3 years ago at this point. Even before then for some of you, depending on what shit you've had go down. But you need to be your best authentic self. That's what we should be striving for. And it's just like, it ain't even worth it. It shouldn't be worth it. Not to sit there and lie to others, and especially not to lie to yourself.
Oh, Albert. Did you read what Albert wrote?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay, hold on. And knock that out. I can't help it. Not going to be putting up with that. But anyway, next one I get is duality. This is the circle and both sides of the circle. This is us dealing with tension, fear, and hopelessness. Pretty much what I was saying right there in the beginning, but it's finding duality in your wholeness. It is asking you to be aware of your divine essence and your ego and be accepting of all that you are. There is importance in the ego. There is importance in that human essence of what you are carrying. It speaks to you about what you don't understand, what you're having trouble with. Even though the higher self is aware and can work through all of this, it is a fine line. Like I always say, your oneness technically is 4 parts. It's your emotional, your mental, your spiritual, and your physical. And when you're not in balance, which 90% of the time we are not, it's hard to be in balance in all 4 areas. And this is asking you to balance your positive, your negative, your light, your dark, your duality. You are all, period. And you got to get back into remembering that and able to get you to that next step.
So we're just on a roll with this goodness. So we do have a butcher knife, which is escapism, run for the hills. So this is basically leave all that's really rough and tumble and everything, leave that behind you. The thing with the butcher knife, make sure that maybe you're the one holding the butcher knife instead of running. There's always that possibility as well if you're a crafty so-and-so. But the thing is also, if you cannot be the one to grasp the butcher knife, where are you running to? Kind of giving almost chariot energy a little bit. There should be always momentum, always moving forward. Chariot 2 also speaks a lot to healing. It speaks to, like I said, progression, but making sure that we're going down the viable path. So
my next card out is King of Cups. Trying to make sure I can put it in a place. King of Cups. It speaks to us about what I have here, because I read all over my cards, is royal and noble and insightful advisor. But what I get from the card when I'm picking it up is what my guides are forever drilling in my head, is you are still earning your patents of nobility. Plain and simple. You are still earning it. You are still learning how to walk that walk, talk that talk, feel the way that you do in your true authenticity. You are in the middle of the ride. This is standing with your soul energy, not with that vindictive, frustrating fire energy of what's coming through right now, but listening to, as I was saying, the North and South Node has just recently moved into Aries and Libra. This is the warrior and the peacemaker. This is learning how to stand our ground, not be movable, but to do it in a way that makes us still stay alive, to last the time of the duration. Earning your patents of nobility.
So then I have Lady of the Stars. God damn, it's been so long. Like I was over here, like, ooh, where the camera? But Lady of the Stars, it's ignite your spark. It's really ignite your passions. Be of the stars. Be that light. Almost having a kind of hermit moment in the major arcana. Hermit, they're the guiding light. They wade through the darkness to lead others, to help kind of grab them by the nape of their neck and shove them forward because nobody else is going to. Who among you really needs that help? Look for that. Seek them out. Obviously, if they're a charity case, you might want to be a little wary. But other than that, give them that nudge. Shove them off the cliff, maybe. They need it. And it's one of those things where if they don't get it, there's going to be a lot of turmoil for everybody in that group. So you will get affected by some kind of splash damage if you don't give them that nudge or that flick forward. So be a little careful with who's in your posse at the moment.
I could not agree more with what she's saying by like your posse, your tribe. This is going to be some rude, eye-opening, awakening things in the next, especially 3 months. Especially the next 3 months. You're going to be really learning some shit about some people as well as yourself. Okay? And you're going to see, just like Matt was writing here, I got a machete. I mean, we're going to see ourselves rising in levels that we didn't necessarily plan on and plan on bringing out. It's not the sides of us that we want to necessarily show, but it is part of, as we're coming into needing true leaders making changes. Like I was saying to both Kelly and Matt before the show, it is not enough to be awake. It is not enough to be aware. It is not enough to expose the situation. You want change? Well, then you're going to have to actually get up and be a leader and make the changes happen. And in a lot of positions, we're in positions where we don't know how to fight this fight. We don't know how to make these changes. The reason I'm giving you that and agreeing with what she was saying is because I got 2 cards that came out. This is the 4th house. It's our roots. But this is also Cancer. It's your inner emotional security. But even more, like I said, I don't care what nobody says, that Lionsgate opened today in Cancer at I think 16 degrees, right on top of Vista. And this is what makes that Cancer energy crazy. Okay? You've got the God consciousness, that Thor's hammer, that higher dimensional understanding coming into an over emotional Cancer energy, which happens to be your 4th house. This is really touching your inner emotional security, the roots of who and what you are. You're really being shaken right now. And then what was coming with it is where the South Node is, Libra, balance. This is balancing codependency. You are everything. You are the most powerfulest thing ever. But you've got to get in that you've got to be able to harness that chaos and control it. Balance it, because your true power is hidden behind the chaos. You're never going to be able to amount to any of your power if you just lose your shit. And that's so easy to do right now.
Remember, Libra also speaks to unionizing, whether it's a union up between you and yourself or you and another person, you and a group of people. That communication, and everybody needs to move in sync so the scales stay balanced. That is the key to Libra energy, making sure that the scales continue to be balanced.
It's also judgment.
Yes. So then we have 7 of Wands in reverse. That's a little bit of a warning. Make sure you don't get tripped up. Make sure that when we go to communicate, when we go to unleash our passions, our inner fire, because Wands are fire, that we're really letting loose and we're not over here trying to scramble and, oh, well, I can do that on top of that, on top of that, on top of that. No, you need to stay a little bit hyper focused at the moment so we can barrel through the next couple of months. Once we hit about November, we can kind of take a bit of a reprieve, make sure that obviously we're not burnt out during these next couple of months, but Seven of Wands carrying a little bit of a heavy warning there.
Not just a heavy warning, but it's heavy on the heart. This is heart chakra, and it literally is saying it's the victim. Yet, it's an acorn. Acorns are good luck, people. Acorns are good luck, people, and it's telling you that you're destroying your own manifesting. We're destroying our own luck by being in such a heavy energy, staying in such a heavy energy. Yes, as we're fighting the fight, we're making the changes, there's a lot that we have to endure. There's a lot that we have to go through. There's a lot of anger that we're working through, but it is actually making the heart chakra sick, and it's destroying our good, healthy vibration. So again, that's balancing. You've got to step away from that and give yourself that energy that you need to balance back, to find the renewal. Bring back your luck. Don't lose it.
And I know I mentioned Chariot earlier, but we actually pulled the Chariot. So the Chariot, like I said, it's about momentum, progression, just taking leaps and bounds forward, especially for the remainder of the year. Chariot also speaks to if we're sitting there and we're trying to figure out which path in the road when we come to that fork, which way to go. Either way we take, we're going to come back around to that secondary path. It's about gaining the experience we need to get to that other side. So don't sit there and be kicking your own ass if you feel that things are taking a little longer than usual. If you think they are, use that to your advantage. Pop it on its head. Get it to where you need it to be. You are the catalyst for your future. You are the catalyst for really getting anything you need. So why sit there and just hem and haw and look at the clock? Get that shit.
As Kelly was saying, everything is going to come back around. The card I got is infinity. Is infinity. It's asking you to realize this is beyond measure. This is beyond you, beyond the situation. It is the everlasting in a form. It is beyond this 3D idea, this 3D reality. It is an ever-flowing waterfall. That was them. It is an ever-flowing waterfall, which would mean they're also dealing with your emotions here, but it is knowing a continuism of wisdom and the threefold that is coming from what you're going through, from this knowledge, from this learning. It's asking you to find clarity and intention, but find it and keep that focus, bringing it from a place of hope, so that you're not, like I said, turning it against you. We don't want to turn it on a dime against us. We want, as she said, put it on its head and make it work for you. But you've got to get in that perspective, that spot. And that's the hard place for many of us right now.
Hi, Sandy. How's it going?
Hey.
So we do have Werewolf coming out, Shapeshift, Transformation. Obviously, moon energy is very abundant with the werewolf. But how the werewolf is kind of dependent on the moon to be able to shift in and shift out. The thing is, what are we really dependent on? What is kind of our life source? Can we truly live without it? Can we manage? Or will it make us sick to sit there and have that really symbiotic leniency on something that maybe isn't serving us the way we should really be looking at being served? Werewolf 2 also speaks a little bit to temperance, our temperament, making sure that things are in balance, things are in key, we're taking things in stride. The moon, everything wanes and goes with the moon, the tides, everything. So the moon being the overall ruler, especially when it comes to shifting and things like that. What is our moon? What is that? Like, is it somebody? Is it a goal of ours? If it's a goal, is it achievable? You know, that whole like cliche bullshit of like reach for the moon, yada, yada, whatever. Is that something we can actually do? Or is that something maybe we need to kind of prep ourselves for to take that leap? Again, a lot of these themes tonight is about moving forward, having that progression. Things she's been saying for years at this point.
Stepping off of what Kelly was just saying, it goes with the cards that I pulled. But it's something that I was being told from Spirit the other day. She was putting it, you know, like, what is your moon? What is your goal? What's your dream? You know, shoot for the moon. Remember, they tell you to chase your dreams. Remember, your dream is not going to chase you.
Mm-hmm.
So this has a slow down, realize what is achievable, what is not, look at what has to be shifted to make it achievable. But the idea here is eternal Salvator. This is speaking to us of the ancient wanderer. It is hope. It is yearning, desiring, wanting to move forward, wanting to see that next side. What is it that's the most important things to you right now? No more bullshit. If it ain't important, fuck it. Leave that shit behind. Unless it's something that truly is in your heart, in your desire, in what is necessary for you to breathe and enjoy life and move forward and have the life you want. We're sticking with that. Then it's Hathor. But in this case, it's get your butt into some meditation. Get your butt into some meditation. Get your butt into some inner communication, inner understanding, inner healing, inner rebirthing. But it starts with the fact of, if you just get so mad and you allow that energy to destroy you, that dream is never going to chase you. Don't give up now. You're only halfway through the ride.
Also, too, Hathor can speak to recovery. She's a very loving mother in the Kemetic lore. She's very just, she would give her heart to anyone that needed it. So a great healer. Again, kind of like a couple of cards before when I was talking about that, the hermit energy of kind of nurturing and kind of leading others. That's the heavy energy that Hathor can bring to the table if need be. But the thing is, make sure we're not sitting there and we're not nurturing a leech to the point where that leech gets so fat it's sucked us up of everything that we had. Be careful, be wary of those leechy people. They're out there, they're in droves, and to the point where it makes a lot of us trying to protect others, it makes us sick because we're taking on too much of that leechy energy. So be very, very careful. I do have Ace of Wands here. So Ace of Wands is new beginnings when it comes to creativity and ideas. That's something wonderful. We need to ride with that energy, ride high, a little bit of sun energy. So obviously, you know, everything needs the sun to survive, whether, you know, it's my pasty ass or not. I still got to be out in the sun for at least 3 minutes to get that vitamin, whatever, and go about my day. It's energy. Again, it's moving forward, but also that nurturing, healing energy, definitely. But also, too, that fiery spark that we need to get our ass in gear and to get moving.
What I have is Queen of My World. This is from one of the Dark Mirror decks. And I can't remember, but I believe that this one is a full moon. This is speaking to you about bringing everything. And the full moon, a lot of times, it's about bringing everything to the light, seeing what we have to see, what changes have to be made, making that happen, moving forward. But she is in her power. She is, see me in all of my glory, see me roar, see me in my red. Yes, I am. It's not just I am. A lot of people get stuck on that affirmation. A lot of people get stuck on that affirmation, which technically is the root chakra. There is the I feel for the sacral chakra. There is the I know. No, I do for the solar plexus. There is, I love, and then move all the way up to the crown chakra, which is I know. She's not I am in my power. She's like, bitch, I am power. I know. This is where we are trying to talk you into getting back into understanding where you've got to get back to that. Suck it all up, pull it back into you, pull all of your powers back to you. You never lost it. You just dropped it on the floor. It's time to pick that shit back up. That's it. You have all the power you ever could want. It's just, do you harness it? What are you doing with it?
And we have Five of Pentacles in reverse. This is actually a card you do want in reverse. Five of Pentacles speaks to strife. It speaks to theft. It speaks to just draining, especially in a 3D monetary value. Weird. I heard a weird crackling. Five of Pentacles, honestly, is about, with it being in reverse, it's about making sure that we've come through those tough times. We are sitting there. We're beginning to recharge. We're kind of sitting there at a little bit of a rest, but there is some fluidity still. There's still momentum. We can sit there and still ask the universe for what we need. We can still ask whatever guides, guardians, ancestors, whatever, to help us progress. Sometimes, we need to leave that in their hands for a hot minute. Let them kind of wreck shit, clear house, and then go in and be like, okay, well, now I can rearrange how I want. There's always that nice little, okay, well, now I can do what I want because, big mama, big daddy, whoever stepped in and kind of just wrecked shit for us. So don't be afraid to ask.
I love how she put a big mama, big daddy, just wrecked shit. I'm always saying to people too, in case you didn't pick up the way she was explaining it, I say to people a lot of times too, I'm like, because you get the ones that are all just foo-foo on the angels, and I'm like, angels are not like just sitting there playing, whatever that layer is, whatever the strings,
the harp,
huh?
The harp.
Yeah, harp. Angels aren't just playing a harp. I'm like, they're vicious. I'm like, they will wreck some shit too. Okay. I'm like, when it's time to get you on the right path, your guides will go out of their way to destroy shit to force you to go the right direction. But going with that, it also helps if you're self-assertive, period. This is about, you've got to get up. You've got to do it. You've got to be assertive. You've got to take the chance. You've got to be willing to go there. It's the Prince of Cups. But this is, take the temptation. Go after it. Try it. If you don't at least be willing to take the chance, you're never going to get there. So this is getting out of your comfort zone. Yes, most of us are getting our shit wrecked so that we have to get on the right path. But if that's not the case, self-assertiveness. You're not, again, that dream is not going to chase you. You're going to have to chase it.
Definitely. And it's always a good time when we are getting more goal-orientated. It's okay to be greedy. It's okay to sit there and look out for number one. Because at the end of the day, you have your best interest at heart. Sure, everybody else can say they do, and I'm sure some of them genuinely do, but in your heart of hearts, you know who the hell to look out for, and you know who has your back. You should have your own back, because we have King of Swords coming out, and King of Swords, honestly, out of all the kings, he's the biggest asshole. He is so fucking rude. As a king, he is not kind, he is not just, he's tyrannical, he's greedy, he's selfish. Swords speak to action, and he only takes action when it's suitable for himself. The Queen of Swords, she's more calculating. The King just doesn't give a shit. He just lashes out with the sword and doesn't give a shit. That's sometimes the way we need to be, especially when it comes to preserving ourselves, preserving our mentality, and preserving our goals. So don't be afraid to let that shit out.
Not to mention, you're going to see a lot of that coming out of everybody around you anyway. So
join in on the fun.
It's not, like I keep saying, being the better person does not mean allowing some bad shit to go down and go, well, I'm just going to rise above it. But ultimately what you did was take it. This is about actually making changes, standing up and doing what you have to do. So just because others are acting like a freaking nut and being all about themselves does not mean you got to give them that. You don't have to meet them on the field and be like, that's right, yes, you can have it. No, you just not play their fucking game. This is where my foot's down, so peace the fuck out. Along with what she was saying, I have Uranus and Genesis. Period. This is a beginning. This is a brand new beginning, a true authenticity, true getting to know yourself, true self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, liberation. No more codependency. This is about coming back into that power, but at this time where Uranus really is asking you about that self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, and making you be number one. It's okay to be number one, because you know what? It's like I have to remind myself. I take care of my mom. A lot of you know that. I take care of my mom. She's got dementia. She's got all these heart problems. Blah, 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 blah. But if I don't remember that I have to be number one, who the hell is going to take care of her? Because I won't even be here myself. So you got to remember, you have to be number one. That doesn't mean that you're a narcissist. It doesn't mean that you're an asshole. That means that you're learning to love you. And that is what you're supposed to be doing.
So also with that, I think this is speaking to a couple of you guys more so tilting toward mid-August, where it's really going to hit you really fucking hard, really fucking fast. And you're just going to be like, ugh. So we have Six of Swords in reverse. This is speaking to a spiritual awakening, a big one, where we need to figure out whether we are going to shit or cut bait. And it's one of them things where you got to make that snap decision probably a little bit in advance. If you're starting to feel the tingling winglies and everything else, and you know, you're seeing shadow people, you're seeing all kinds of wild and crazy shit, it's probably time to kind of assess what the hell that is. Shadow people aren't always a bad omen, so don't give me that bullshit. It's time to figure out, okay, are they friend or foe? Move on from there. But if you're seeing them more repeatedly, there's probably going to be a heavy transitional shift in your future that you need to really consider. And it could be a huge, huge asset if we go about it correctly.
Playing on what she says, but yes and no, depending on where you are, because there is going to be a lot more of awakening coming in. That's definite. A lot more people starting to get on board with this and learning how to step into this lifestyle. But then on top of it, like I said, you're going to have a lot of that aggressive me first energy coming in. A lot of push and shove energy coming in. And what I'm getting is Eris, which is trouble, toil, and strife, injustice. I often will speak of her as like Medusa, like in the form of I've got done dirty, and so now everything around me is going to be dirty because that's what happened to me. In the way of how I perceive that Medusa energy when I think of Eris. This is resentment and revenge, holding on to that, holding on to all of that negativity instead of rising up and learning and making the healing. But what's coming with it is communication. And this is why I said some of this has to do with what Kelly was saying. This has to do with your communication. Some of it is going to be on that psychic level. Some of it's going to be on the 3-dimensional level. You're going to be dealing with a lot of energies coming in, whether it's 3D or higher. And how are you communicating with them? First thing I tell people a lot too is I've come across a lot of newbie mediums or empaths who automatically, when they feel the energy is uncomfortable or bad, just like she was saying for shadow people, you know, they automatically assume that it's bad, this negative thing, and they go to attack it, and then they get hurt. And what I'm saying is are you getting the true communication, or are you attacking something that you have no idea what you're attacking, and you're just going off of false intuition, not truly depth intuition? Just slow down. You've got a lot of planets in retrograde. You've got a lot of things in retrograde dealing with our inner secrets, our inner denials, our lack of healing, lack of understanding and moving forward. This is asking you not to get stuck in that Eris resentment energy and doubling down on it, but to truly listen to communication and see it for what it is before you make decisions and actions.
So to speak on that a little bit, when we have our baby empaths, our baby love and light, whatever. I mean, some quote light workers are great. Some you can tell they're sussy. There's something wrong with them. Normally when they feel that, oh my God, energy, it's a reflection. It's a mirror of what they truly are, and they don't like to see it. As somebody that projects that out to others, and I've done it time and time again, it's hilarious to watch them squirm because they think it's me, but honestly, it's their own nasty ass. And it's hilarious when they finally wake up and realize that it was truly them, and they come back and apologize. Granted, that doesn't happen very often, but it is fucking hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. And on that note, because it is such a bitter ass taste in their mouth, we have cyanide coming in. Cyanide is bitterness. It's poor taste. Certain things where we know that people, they have that pick me energy, that main character syndrome where, oh, everything's about them. It's all their woes. And really, they're quite privileged. You need to watch out for those people because they're so privileged, they continue to take and take and take and take from those that don't have very much. Because those that don't have very much have the biggest hearts. And they love to feed off that shit. And it makes the people that have the biggest hearts, you know, like the Grinchy kind of, the heart shrinking shit, that's what happens to them. And they become so bitter and resentful because, you know, the haves have so much more than the have-nots. It's a disgusting cycle that needs to be broken.
What I have is from my Tai Ching deck. This is the taming power of the small. And what it is it's like a spider in the spider web. And it speaks to you about self-restraint. It speaks to us about careful preparations. It speaks to us about resourcefulness, adaptability. It is very, very gentle, but it is definitely an authority of power. Think about it. That spider web is not just its home, it's its power. It's how it creates. It's what it creates. It's how it stores its food. It's how it saves itself. It protects itself. Sometimes they tear it down and rebuild it in the same day, over and over and over again. This is really taking a look at yourself, at your surroundings, your everyday mundane tasks, your peers, all of it. Taming your small. This is looking at all of those things that you probably are overlooking and seeing what that has to do. what changes can be made. Just like she was saying, that Grinchy energy. I'll be the first one to admit I've got the biggest loving heart, but is working on taking care of my mom sometimes, going as far as I do to try to help her, and it seems like every single breath of mine is taken away. Like I don't get anything for myself. There are days where I'm grinchy as fuck. And this is part of what I'm saying. What are you spinning in your web? How are you spinning it? Are you looking at the future? The past? There's a lot that goes on with the spider and her web. She's a creator, but she's also a destroyer. So what are you doing?
So spiders also too, a lot of people have the association of trickster energy and all that other shit. Spiders are weavers of fate. We think of Arachne in Greek lore. She was punished by, I believe, Athena and turned into a spider. So it was either Athena or Aphrodite. I don't really remember. But either way, she was punished and turned into a spider, and she's just forced to forever weave and weave and weave and weave. But there's so much lore to spiders that, I mean, they're crafty. They withstand the elements. Certain spiders, their webs are almost a tensile strength where it can hold or be as strong as steel. So it's wild to think about. It's fascinating, even though I hate spiders, but they have amazing lore between them. So here we have, what the hell are you? Costume. So costumes, trickery, concealment, deception, again, lying a little bit. But concealment is shielding, protecting yourself, protecting your energy, protecting your health, wealth, happiness, your home, your community, whether your community is just you and, a couple other people, or if you have a big enough heart to literally help your community out. It's protecting that and making sure that nothing toxic gets into it and nothing harms it and spoils it.
All right, what I'm getting is Morta. And I'm in between asking Kelly here because what I'm picking up is not Morta. What I'm picking up is her, but maybe not this one. What I'm really picking up is from King Arthur. I'm picking up the witch, like the mother witch.
What, Morgan Le Fay? Or the other one?
Her sister.
Hmm.
You know who I'm picking? What I'm saying?
Yeah.
What I'm picking up is her sister with this card, and I don't think this is normally who the card is, but that's who I'm picking up with this card at this time. And if you know the stories of King Arthur and whatnot, his sister was the other like high priestess, but she had a half sister, and the half sister was always up to sneaky shit. Was the what? It was that it was the mother's half sister. It was the mother's half sister, and she was up to sneaky shit. She was always up to winning the war, making the situation go her way, no matter what the cost. But it wasn't necessarily coming from being forthcoming. So what I'm getting here is sneakiness. What I'm getting is powerful sneakiness and paying attention to what powerful sneakiness is happening around you and what is it that you're falling for? What is it that you're going to play into that game? And where are you taking your control, your power, your magic, stepping into it and becoming of your own versus being not just played, but being created to be like kind of taking me right back into that cycle of the Grinch. And if you follow that same kind, you're gonna end up closing your heart more and more and more, being sneakier and meaner and going down that same road. I want to say, what is it back in the day before you got good at a skill? You was, starts with a P. Can't even think of what it's called. But you were like the one in training for the skill before you became the one that was like the master of the
Oh, you
skill.
were an apprentice.
Exactly. Okay. And this is feeling like, are you becoming the apprentice of the negative? Are you being trained to be that apprentice of the negative? Will you be aware that you're being squandered, being pulled along, playing that game? Because that's where somebody is going. All right, that's what I got.
I mean, we all get that way at one point or another. It's about making sure that we still have our temperament in check. Like I believe we said a little bit ago, because there was a card that was dealing with that. But it's really kind of doubling down now if she's once again pulling that while we're winding down for the evening. I think the end goal is to just be careful, watch out for being vindictive, watch out for just overall pettiness. There's certain shit, yeah, you shouldn't stand for, and you should indeed hold your ground. But really simplistic shit, maybe just kind of shrug it off. And I mean, I don't do that. Like, I fly off the handle at everything. So it's one of those things of, to each their own. But at the same time, just watch how we act, watch how we react for sure. And my last card for the evening is Judgment Day. It speaks to watching out for payback, watching out for dulling out the payback, watch out for who may try to have your number. In a very cutthroat world, sometimes we got to be a little more careful. We got to watch who we share things with for sure. We got to watch our own backs. Like I said, at the end of the day, you're the only one that's got it. So be careful.
And with the last card that I pulled, I mean, well, that sounds about right. I was feeling like it was from the King Arthur story, and the last one I pull is King Arthur. Like I said, always, my guides are always reminding me, you're earning your patents of nobility, period. You're earning it. You are no more noble than any rich person out there, any extra thinking that they deserve and that they're above you. Nobody is above you. No matter what they believe in their privileged life. Nobility has nothing to do with money. It has to do with honor. It has to do with your character. And this is about learning in our spirituality how to maintain our honor, our character, our nobility, our power without being led astray. You're always going to get led astray a little bit. Otherwise, you'd never learn. You're always going to fall down on your face a little bit. You'd never learn. But this is literally about going, are you going to come back to the true power of you? Or are you going to go inward and go down that wrong path just on resentment and frustration and hate and jump on that bandwagon? Or are you going to reclaim your power? Because one is not power. One just looks like it when it's having its hissy fit.
Mm-hmm.
I love you guys. Bye. Say bye, Kelly. I love it when she gives you the hand. Bye, everybody.